Turning now to the latest fallout from two major controversies involving President Trump and religion. He has now taken down an image he posted showing himself as a Christ-like figure. That's after backlash from Christian conservatives. But he's doubling down on attacks against Pope Leo. He calls him weak on crime. Weijia Jiang is at the White House. Weijia, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nora. Good morning to everybody. Several of President Trump's staunchest supporters were among his critics, something he is not used to. In fact, Trump initially blasted those who thought he meant to portray himself as Jesus. Later, in a phone call with you, Nora, Trump acknowledged the growing backlash among supporters led him to delete that post.
McDonald's. After a DoorDash delivery to the Oval Office.
This doesn't look staged, does it?
To point out President Trump followed through on a key promise, no tax on tips.
Wait.
Potentially. We asked the president about the latest controversy to land on his doorstep. This image he posted online, then deleted, appearing to show Trump as a Christ-like figure. He offered a different interpretation.
I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with Red Cross.
But some of the president's supporters in the religious right saw it another way, calling the image outrageous blasphemy, while Vice President Vance said it was a joke.
He took it down because he recognized that a lot of people weren't understanding his humor in that case.
Just one day earlier, Trump took on the first American-born pope, calling him weak on crime and the threat from Iran.
We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon.
After that, one prominent American Catholic bishop, Robert Barron, called on the president to apologize.
Will you apologize?
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran.
Trump said the right people in Iran called again Monday, and they want to make a deal, quote, very badly. But he insisted his biggest red line remains.
You marking it down? Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
We asked President Trump if a deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire set to expire in 8 days. Will his threat from before still stand? You may remember he said he would take out an entire civilization. Trump said he wouldn't comment, but, quote, it won't be pleasant for them. Let me put it that way. Vice President Vance says the ball is in Iran's court to accept the offer he presented. Gayle.
All right, Weijia, to be continued. Thank you very much. Weijia just mentioned, Nora, that you had a call with the president. You called him and he picked up.
He did. Well, he said that he was actually watching 60 Minutes on Sunday night. That's why he then issued that Truth Social post and then put up that picture where he depicted himself as a Christ-like figure that he's now taken down, but he has not apologized for it. You know, when I talked to Trump, he was doubling down on his criticism of Pope Leo. I said, would you call him? He gave me a firm no. I said, do you think the Pope will ever come to the United States? Because, you know, he was born in Chicago. And he said, I don't know. That's up to him. So they're still at a standstill. I mean, this is quite a diplomatic firestorm.
Yeah, we've never seen anything like it.
Never seen anything like it.
See a pope and a president at odds. And it's interesting, J.D. Vance said, you know, it was a joke. So there again, there's another interpretation.
And I want to say that, you know, the vice president is Catholic. The Secretary of State is Catholic. 6 of the 9 Supreme Court justices are Catholic. 30% of Congress is Catholic. This is a huge voting block of people. And the question, I think, is what's going to happen now in the midterms? Because a lot of Catholics were offended and Christians were offended by that image.
For sure. All right. To be continued.